guys, this is Comic You Know, and today I'm doing a kind of a Free Comic Book Day rapid review. I just did a haul for Free Comic Book Day, got a good amount of books, but I picked a few from that Free Comic Book Day haul and wanted to just talk about them. It's not really a review, I'm not going to give a rating because it's not like you could buy it after this day, but just to talk about some of the teases that the companies came out with. So these are the comics I'll be going over. I'm going to go over Captain America, which also includes a Spider-Man story, Civil War II, which also includes the Wasp, the all different story, DC Heroes, or DC Superhero Girls, which is the only new content book from DC. The other one was just a reprint of Suicide Squad. We have Black Mask, We Can Never Go Home, and also Young Terrorists. And also, last but not least, the Legend of Korra Dark Horse book, which also included How to Train Your Dragon and Plant vs. Monsters. So let's start talking about the Marvel books first, and we'll start with the Captain America book. So, as you guys might know, I'm not a huge Captain America fan, but I did decide I want to at least try out issue 1 of the new Steve Rogers book. I am a fan of Nick Spencer's writing. Also was curious to see how they would deal with Kazar, or that's how you pronounce it, yeah, Kazar's storyline from the previous Pleasant Hill, Assault on Pleasant Hill book, Standoff, Avenger storyline. So with this Captain America book, it's very much just a prologue to what you might get in the new Cap book. I really like the art style. I like that you could see that Carter has this kind of older face. I thought that was cool. Sharon's face, and really good detail on Captain America's new young face and his new costume. Just want to get a good look over here. So it's mostly this event that people died, and it's more of like this political event, and it's a lot of talking in this issue, not so much action, but you get a little bit from Sam Wilson, so you get a little bit from a lot of the different Captain America characters, and then that's going to lead into Captain America issue 1, which is coming out in a couple of weeks. I don't think it's next week, maybe it's the week after. Alright, moving on to the book I was really excited to read, which you guys know I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so we have a little teaser for Dead No More, which is a huge Spider-Man story arc that's coming up for Marvel in a few months. And we get to see a little bit of why these characters are coming back. You see that, well, first of all, Peter's mentor might know about him being Spider-Man. He's like, I can't worry about that, because Rhino's back. Rhino's wife is back. Like, why are these people alive? And then the big cliffhanger is that Gwen is working with the person who, I guess, is dealing with these people being alive again. So is this the Gwen Stacy we know? Is it not? Who are these people? And I think it did a pretty good job at setting up for me being excited to read this new Spider-Man arc. So I thought it was good that we didn't know a lot of information about that storyline, and now we have a little tidbit of it. The Steve Rogers book, like I said, if you're a huge Captain America fan, you'll enjoy it. If you're not, I don't know if it totally sold me on the book personally. So that's the first Marvel book. Now we're going into our second Marvel book, which is Civil War II. And like I said, it also includes that all new, all different Avengers storyline. And I will say Civil War II really surprised me, because I haven't been a big fan of a lot of the Marvel events recently. I feel like not a lot ever happens, and it's always a little bit too long than it has to be. But this I was pleasantly surprised with. It was a good prologue that says, hey, I'm excited for Civil War II. You figure out why Captain Marvel is in the position she is in those covers. Like, oh, why is she angry at Iron Man? At least you get to see some things with Thanos here, and Jen, you know, one of her best friends, and also her boyfriend War Machine. What's going on with him? Is he dead? Is he not? So we see that Captain Marvel is going through some trauma, and that might cloud her head with whatever is going to happen with Civil War II. So really, really enjoyed the artwork, enjoyed the whole story, and it got me actually excited for Civil War II, an event that I wasn't as excited for until I read this prologue, which again is the job of these comics, these Free Comic Book Day stuff. So moving on to the new Wasp story, and we learn a little bit about her origins, that she's Russian, and she somehow got a hold of the Pym particles, and she looks up to Ant-Man, to Hank Pym, and that's kind of it. She just kind of is destroying Vision for some reason. I guess we'll learn actually this coming week why this is happening. Now, this is a story I feel like I was really looking forward to when I heard about the Free Comic Book Day story, but it didn't sell me on the character. And I feel like instead of, you know, showing the Vision stuff, showing the plot stuff, I should have been more interested in the character and her motives, which I really wasn't. And the artwork still, I keep saying this about all new, all different Avengers, it doesn't feel like flagship artwork. It's not bad, but I wish it was a little bit more detailed. So, yeah, I definitely like the Civil War 2 story a little bit more than the Wasp story, and I actually thought that would be the reverse going into this. Alright, so now moving on to, again, the only DC book that actually had new material, which is the DC Superhero Girls book, which is the all-ages book that they normally come out with. Sometimes they'll have, like, Teen Titans Go or, you know, some other book, but this year, happy to see DC Superhero Girls. Now, I haven't really dabbled into this, I guess, new franchise, we'll say, of DC Superhero Girls, but happy about it, seeing more female characters for younger readers, especially young girls reading comics. And surprisingly enough, this is actually a really good read for adults also. Especially if you're watching the Supergirl TV show, it's mostly based on Supergirl and how she doesn't want to fail her test and she gets really nervous about it and then looks back at a time on Krypton where she failed the test, and she actually, in the end, cliffhanger is that she's getting kidnapped by somebody. I'm like, whoa, this is pretty plot-driven for a book like, you know, a young reader's book. So it was very plot-driven, really cool character setups with Korra, and just a fun issue. So I think overall, this was just a really surprising issue, and I kind of wish that DC Superhero Girls was coming out in single issues, because for me, that would be the better read, like a fun read to read every month. With a graphic novel, I feel like it would be a lot, and I know that's what they're, you know, promoting, and I think for young readers, it's great. But, you know, for a reader like me, I would love to have a single issue like this every week, or every month, and just, you know, read it and have fun like I used to with Tiny Titans. So it has definitely a Tiny Titans vibe. It's a really good all-ages book, and I was pleasantly surprised with that one. Alright, so now we're moving on to another book I was really excited about, and that is We Can Never Go Home, the Black Mass story, and the Young Terrorist story. Now, the reason I got this was because of We Can Never Go Home. Love that miniseries, and here we get to see kind of this middle type story. It's in between, well, it's actually during Volume 1 of We Can Never Go Home and introducing the characters of We Can Never Go Home Volume 2. So Volume 2 will have new characters, which I read somewhere, so I knew about that. And our new character, her name starts with an M also, Morgan, and she's with her boyfriend, so it's kind of the start of the, like, kind of similar to to Volume 1, where it's this teen story, which is what attracted me to the book. And they're going to a motel, they're having fun after a movie, but this is actually during the events of Volume 1, where we had Madison and Duncan being shot at by the police. So we see that Morgan, is that her name? No, yeah, Morgan is very interested in what's going on next door. It's like, whoa, this girl has superpowers, what's going on? And then her boyfriend's like, no, stay away from the door. And she doesn't realize that her boyfriend gets shot in the head. So that's going to be really interesting how they deal with that in Volume 2. Like I said, I would love to see Madison in Volume 2, but it really made me interested in these new characters also, which was important going into Volume 2. So We Can Never Go Home definitely did its job. Now, Young Terrorist is, I guess, is a book that's already completely out, which I think I've read a preview here and there of for the book. And another preview, another story that really got me interested in the book. It's about this girl who her father treated her as this, like, super soldier, gave her a serum, kind of like this Bruce Banner type thing going on. And we see her in this kind of camp that she's being beaten up at, but you analyzed her relationship with her father a little bit more, which was very interesting. Beautiful, gorgeous art, especially just seeing the comparison of what she looks like now and as she's being beat up and how she looked like as a child. So beautiful art, and actually got me interested in maybe picking up the trade for Young Terrorist. So Black Mass totally did its job. I'm really excited for We Can Never Go Home Volume 2, and again, got me interested in maybe reading Young Terrorist. Alright, so last but not least, we have the Dark Horse book, Legend of Korra, and all the other books. But I pretty much picked this up for Legend of Korra, so I'm going in detail with that. And Legend of Korra was amazing. If you love the franchise, it's Korra meeting Naga, which is her pet, her her friend that she has since episode 1 of the show. Beautiful artwork, very detailed, and very much like the TV show, which is all you can ask for. I wonder if this is the same artist who's going to be doing the graphic novel, which hopefully one day we'll actually get something for the graphic novel that's supposed to be coming out. But yeah, this whole story is about the friendship between Korra and Naga, and I love the last page where we get to see them growing up together. This was such a great story. I think out of all the Free Comic Book Day stories, even though this is the shortest, it was the most touching and one of my favorites, and one that I'll definitely remember. Now going into How to Train Your Dragon, that was pretty good. It's just like kind of the aftermath of How to Train Your Dragon 2. We analyze the two main characters' relationship now that they're getting married. So I thought that was cool. Artwork is really well done too, fits the tone, so I enjoyed that. I kind of skimmed through the Plants and Monsters one just because I don't really know, or Plants vs. Zombies, because I don't really know much about the franchise. There's only a couple of pages in there, so just to show you that. And those are all the books I read. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of mini rapid review. This is Comic You Know. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.